have a surprise for you and for me. I just got this in the mail and I want to unbox it. And it is from DVG Games, Dan Verson Games. Special delivery. Want to thank them for that. And, let's see what is in the box. As we open it up here, Stuka Leader, Expansion 7. I have a feeling this is going to be DVG's latest release in the Leader series, Stuka Leader. And have you ever noticed like how Hollywood, when they come out with something, there's usually a second one in the same theme coming out at the same time, sometimes even 3 coming out at the same time, they did that with Wide Earp and with, meteors or asteroids hitting the Earth, and all those kind of movies have a tendency to come in pairs or triplets. Well, I've done some coverage on another Stuka game, which is still in the process of being developed, but soon to be released. And here, lo and behold, is DVG's version of Stuka and Stuka battles and being a Stuka pilot with Stuka Leader. So let's see what's in this box. This will be kind of an unboxing of an unboxing, and then I'll do individual unboxings proper as we go through this. So this is Expansion 7, Historic Aces, and Expert Bomber Pilots at your disposal. And as you can see, the DVG counters come out very easily. A lot of the publishers now, their counters, they're doing much better. They're very easy to come out. These are somewhat pre-rounded, so you don't even need to clip these. And you get a deck of cards and some counters to go along with that. So the next one in here, there's a loose lone counter there. And this is Stuka Leader Expansion 6, What If? New campaigns, new targets, new bandits, new events, new aircraft, and more. Look at all that. So we've got some counters, we've got some cards, and looks like we have some either player aids or some boards or maybe some new missions. Yeah, probably new missions or campaigns. I call them missions, but I think in the Leader series they call them campaigns. So that's number 6. Oh, here's number 5. Look at this. Oh, and no counters came out in this one. Oh, I get to the pleasure of punching all to myself. This is Stuka Leader Expansion 5, Spanish Civil War. Oh, this is cool. You don't see a lot of games on the Spanish Civil War, less and even less on air combat, right? So new campaigns, new targets, new aircraft, new bandits, new events. So you got some cards, counters, and campaigns for the Spanish Civil War. Let's see what this one is. Number 4, Mediterranean number 2. Oh, wow, look at this. New campaigns, new targets, new aircraft, new bandits, new events for Mediterranean. So this is all focusing on the Mediterranean. So I imagine we have some Italian forces in here as well. My good friend Dan Pancaldi would be happy about that. So you got some campaigns, counters, and cards. This is number 3, Mediterranean. Look at this. Expansion number 3, Mediterranean number 1. So 2 whole expansion packs on the Mediterranean. A lot of, I'm just seeing this. This is the same way I was with Spruance Leader. I couldn't fit everything back in the box. And I can tell you right now, there's more expansions and more stuff here than there were for Spruance Leader. I don't know how we're gonna, I haven't even got to the box yet, but I don't know how I'm gonna get it back in it once I get to it. Oh, we missed number 2. Here's number 2. So expansion number 1, Eastern Front number 1. So this is dealing with the Eastern Front. You're going to have cards, counters, and campaigns. And if you're not familiar with the Leader series, it is kind of an aircraft management game of sorts. I mean, you're doing individual missions, so it's very tactical in that regard, that you actually fly the mission with your pilot and wingman, so to speak. And there's a tactical map that you're going on, and you got to plan your approach. You got to you're going to have encounters until you get to the target. You're going to do stuff at the target. The targets are going to vary depending on the campaigns, and there's also randomness within the campaigns for the types of targets. And then you're going to have to exit, the target and return safely to base or to an aircraft carrier or what have you. So that's the typical air leader type system. A Spruance leader is a little bit different in how it does things. Also, Apache leader is a little bit different as well, but a lot of the flight leaders, is what I kind of call them, are all kind of built that way. So what you're getting in these packs is you're getting more planes. You're getting so different pilots and the tied to the planes, and you can advance your pilots over time. There's kind of like a advancement or role playing type aspect of how you keep your pilots and you're advancing them. Again, you're kind of managing them. They'll get stressed during missions, and so you have to sit some of them or rest some of them and go with the rest of your pilot allotment or some of your different ones. And so you're managing your group of pilots and developing them and also your resources. So the planes and these, there's going to be a lot of targets, or bandits is what they call them, that are going to be, that you're going to encounter on your missions. So you're going to see new pilots, you're going to see new encounters, there's going to be new targets, which are cards in here. So there's going to be new events. There are events that happen that kind of change stuff up from time to time. So you might play the exact same mission and might even have the exact same target, which is rare. But then an event might change up things as well. So you're going to get, and then the campaigns, or I call them missions, the campaigns are all, in here as well. So you're getting a ton of new campaigns. So that's Eastern Front number 1. And here's Eastern Front number 2, I would imagine. Yeah, Eastern Front number 2. So a lot of content here. So if you get the whole kit and caboodle, you've got quite a bit of content in this box. And let's get this. This box is heavy in and of itself. It's, I think I just pulled a hernia. Living with a hernia. All right. Stuka Leader, the World War II European theater solitaire game, created by Chuck Siegert. He is the one who has brought us Zero Leader, and so it's gonna be built in that same vein of the Flight Leader series. This is heavy. I don't know how's all this going to fit in the box, because if I feel like there's enough stuff in the box that it's probably going to be tough to get back in there anyway. So here you go. Here's an example of that tactical map where you're going to have kind of what the mission is or the target in the middle, and then you're going to be planning an approach, and you're going to have bandits, which is enemy aircraft, or you're going to have anti-aircraft artillery, or you might even have infantry, shooting at you. So you've got different types of encounters that you're going to have on this map as you plan your mission to accomplish your mission and then leave out. Also building out your armaments, how you what kind of bombs that you put on your planes. That's typically a big part of this as well. So not only are you managing your pilot corps and their level of stress, but you're also managing, the armaments on the plane. You might change that up depending on what the mission is. And you're doing a campaign. A campaign is going to be like a series of missions where you're trying to accomplish a certain score. And again, if I haven't said it yet, this is all solitaire, right? So this is a lot of content in here for one person, but this is all solitaire. And as I said, the Flight Leaders series, or the leader series that deal with flight, are all very, very similar. They have their nuances, but for example, Zero Leader added in kind of dogfighting and going into a little bit more of a detail into how you do dogfighting. The precursor to Zero Leader was Corsair Leader, and you still had combat, but you didn't have this more evolved or detailed combat system, which, I feel like they drew a little bit of from another DVG game, which was Down in Flames, which is just a pure card flight game, air combat game. But I feel like they drew some of the some inspiration from that and how they did the dogfighting game. I don't know if they have that in here, but that, Corsair Leader didn't have it. Zero Leader added it, and then this is the latest in the Flight Leader series, as I said, which this is different than the last Leader series that came out, which was Spruance Leader, which was Cold War, 1980s, and had definitely a different take on the whole Leader series. Anyway, there you have it. This is my unboxing of an unboxing, and as you can see, there's a lot of stuff in here. This is if you're really wanting to get into the Leader series. This is the latest and greatest that's out there. You don't have to have all this content. I mean, there's plenty of stuff in this box, and I'll do a proper unboxing of all this, a proper unboxing and unbagging of all this. There's plenty of stuff in this box to get into, but what's wrong with having more, right? I mean, this is just going to give you more planes and more targets. So more planes means more pilots as well. But planes, pilots, targets, events that are focused on the Eastern Front. You've got 2 of those. You've got 2 for the Mediterranean. And then you've got the Spanish Civil War. And then you've got this like what if scenario. So this might just be and it's got some new aircraft in here as well. So this is just kind of rounds it out, I think, on what more could you want to do with the Eastern European theater game. Now, you're the Stuka leader, so one thing that you might want or take note of, just like Zero Leader, you're playing the Axis power. So you're playing the Germans. In Zero Leader, you're playing the Japanese. In Corsair Leader, you're playing the United States. And most of the other Leader games, I mean, you're playing the United States. Phantom Leader, Hornet Leader, which is modern combat. Phantom Leader is Vietnam. That's another one I have. These, deviate a little bit from that, and you're playing the other side. Now, us wargamers, we're used to playing the other side, right? Even if you're playing an Axis and Allies, right? Somebody's got to play, the Germans and the Japanese. So we're used to playing the other side a lot of times. But in these solo games, I mean, you're exclusively playing that side. It's not a matter of choice. You're in there. You're in their cockpit, so to speak, and in their shoes. So that's something that's different. I know some people have some issues with that, so be it. That's out there. Don't. I always say to that, then don't play the game. But it's good to know that up front, right? If you're going the kind of person that might have issues with that, then think about that when you get into that. The same is true for the other Stuka game that I covered recently, and we'll be covering more of that. It's totally different than this game. This one is, again, in the Leader series of DVG games, which is again more of a management of a flight crew, so to speak, or a flight cadre. The other game I was covering is a card-based game, and it's very much more of has a lot more of a legacy or role-playing game type aspect of you're following a campaign. So you're going several missions and developing your pilot over several missions, and it's card-based. This isn't card. I mean, you see cards here, but this isn't card-based. These cards are more for information and tell you the stuff you need to know for the pilots and the planes, but also for events that pop up. But they don't drive play. The play is kind of a sequence of play that you're following, and then you're rolling dice to resolve a lot of the combat and things that are going on. That other game was really card-based. So the reason I make note of that is I think there's plenty of space in our hobby for both these games. I mean, Stuka. Why do I need to have two Stuka games? This one is going to give you a different feel and play of what you're trying to control and what you're trying to accomplish. And the other one is going to give you a little bit more tactical, and with the card play, it plays a little bit different, and with the continuing on your campaigns, it's more of an individual basis, right? Because you're kind of tracking one pilot, and that pilot's going to control more planes. This one, you're tracking a whole group of pilots, so there is overlap between the two games, but not so much that I can't have and enjoy both of them, right? To get a different scratch to my itch, so to speak. Anyway, so but both of these you're taking the role of the German pilot or the German side. So just don't want to make too much of a deal of that, but that's the way it is. Um, I think that's an interesting approach. I think that is something that more games should do, is kind of focus on what is the different perspective. My banner for my whole channel, check that out. That's a picture from that I saw when I went to Japan, and it's all about perspective and how that picture was painted by the Japanese and their perspective of Pearl Harbor, including the date and what we perceive. I find that interesting. So anyway, it's all about perspective. That's what I have for you today. I need to get to working. I guess my week is now booked of getting through the proper unboxings and unbaggings of all this. The unbaggins. It's the baggins. We're doing Hobbit stuff now. I got to get to that. And last week was really rough because I traveled a lot. This week, I don't have as much travel, but I still have, I do have one trip I got to get to. So I got to get to this. I'll probably focus on this and do a proper unbagging. And then I always like to try to do some after action reports or some play once I get it to the table. I'm not finding as much time. I'm having a hard time keeping up with my shooting schedule, let alone my play schedule. My play schedule is really suffering, but I'm sacrificing my play schedule really for family, for work and family time, and family is the most important. At least we should strive for that. Anyway, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much for stopping by for this surprise unboxing. I want to thank the good people at DVG, or Danvers and Games, and especially Dennis. You know who you are. I want to give a shout out to your kids as well. I think they enjoy that sometimes. Anyway, thank you all for stopping by. I think this is something you need to take a look at. If you like the leader games, this is a no-brainer. You just go open up your wallet. If you're interested in flight command and especially in World War II, and from the German perspective, and possibly I think the Italian perspective, I imagine that's going to come up in here as well. Then this is something definitely to take a look at. And if you like solo games and you have a hard time finding a partner or don't like playing online, this is an excellent series to get into. So anyway, that's enough of that. Thanks again for stopping by. The best way I know you stop by is drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about any of this stuff. Just keep it civil. Take care. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.